weight strengthening or conditioning exercises. The first one is a glute snap. If you want to know if your glute is actually firing, this is a really effective move. So we go into a half kneeling position, toes flat at the back, other leg is at 90 degrees. You're going to keep that tallness in your thoracic chamber, and you're going to contract this glute and see what the reaction is. So as you contract the glute, you can see how the hip flexor stretches, and then we relax. Contract and relax. Contract, relax. And obviously you'll switch it out and repeat it on the opposite leg. We're then going to go into a normal glute bridge. So lying flat, you're going to have your feet just wider than the hips. What you want to do is you want to get that pelvic tilt. You want to roll the pelvis backwards. You want to drive the hips up until the hip flexors are at their highest point. And then you want to maintain this position briefly before you then unroll. So you now let the pelvis go down, and then you flatten the pelvic position. Roll up, squeeze it up nice and high, unroll, flatten it out. Squeeze it up, unroll, flatten it out. So that's a really learned move. You've really got to learn how to tilt that pelvis, but really important. Getting the glutes and the hamstrings to contract. We then go into a single leg glute bridge. So we always want to isolate one leg to make sure that we haven't got any imbalances or that we're working the weak leg. So from this position with a tall, elevated, non-working leg, we're going to drive that hip up and then relax it down. You want to make sure the leg is going directly up towards the ceiling and not collapsing. Obviously you're going to do 6 or 12 and swap it out to the other side. Then we're going to do a clam shell, so onto your side, supported head, both knees and feet are together. Okay, we want to maintain that hip over hip, so we stack the hip. The feet are going to stay together, and we're going to open the hip open the knee without rolling the hip backwards. If you start to roll backwards, you're definitely not working this glute med anymore. Okay, this can be done with a band to just increase a little bit of resistance, but it's still a very effective move, non-resisted. Obviously you'll roll over and you will do the opposite side. We're then going to just do a 90-90 hip swap, so the legs are in the 90-degree position, and from here you're just going to roll those hips and switch those knees across. Just getting that hip flexibility. Okay, these movements need to be done